A Cold Case, Resurrected, by Luna Flame 03. Her name was Erin. All we knew about her was that she died 5 years ago. We didn't know how she died. No one was convicted of murder. She had an alcoholic mother and an absent father, so everything pointed towards suicide. But now, on many different accounts, she's been seen in recent years. A young girl, maybe 10 or 11 at most, wearing a blood-stained dress. But the main feature, which everyone sees, is her eyes. The eyes of a devil, those soulless eyes, people have said.
Hello?
We got a phone call about a week ago from a distressed woman. One part of this phone call stuck in my head.
It's her eyes. It's like they can see everything. All your secrets, every mistake, every lie.
After this, I heard a terrible noise, like the sound of nails scratching down chalkboard, and then a terrifying scream. The final noise was a child's voice.
You will pay.
It said, then the line went dead. Shortly after the phone call, we sent inspectors to the house. But when searching the house, they found nothing. In fact, the house itself was a haunted house that all the children were afraid to walk past, let alone go inside of. Another point was there was no phone in the house, and there were no signs that anyone had inhabited the house for years. So where did this phone call come from? We looked back at old records and found a record of a distressed phone call from the house about 5 years ago. The caller was Erin's mother. We compared this recorded phone call with one that we just received and found that it matched, word for word. Now, the only other person beside myself who has a key to the room of archives is the chief of police. So, naturally, we started looking for an explanation to all of this. But no logical explanation occurred. How could we receive a phone call that happened 5 years ago? Especially when the person who made the call died that same day that the call took place. So, with no logical explanation, we decided to dig further into the reason behind Erin's death, and decided the safe place to start was with the autopsy report. Though all logical information beforehand had insinuated suicide being the logical option, we decided to ignore the logical option and find the real reason behind her death. The autopsy reports read as follows: 3 broken ribs, broken left arm, collapsed skull, internal bleeding, fractured leg, and a broken spinal cord. Erin had been found on the side of the road covered in blood, though something stood out to us. The autopsy report also mentioned that Erin had numerous bruises and scars, which at the time had gone unnoticed. But now we can tell from the dates of the report that the bruising and scars had happened long before the time of death. Erin's warning,
You will pay,
now meant something. The evidence backed it up. The fact that her mother was an alcoholic was one thing, but beating her child? You've got to be mental. They say a mother's love is the most powerful emotion, but being a child and not having that love, you've got to become more and more emotionless and senseless with every new day. Within Erin's report, there are pictures of her mother's death. Photos show deep scratches in the walls and show her mother's body. At first, all you can see is the blood, but after a while you can make out faint outlines of what was once a human being. The limbs were torn and mangled. Her face holds the emotion of fear. Then there are also words imprinted on the wall in her mother's blood.
You will pay.
3 words. These same 3 words that we heard at the end of the phone call. When putting the file away, one picture caught my eye, and I saw that, unlike the other pictures, this picture showed the whole setting. Erin's mother was killed in the bathroom, and in this picture you could see the mirror. And within the mirror, there was a hazy reflection. A reflection that showed a little girl with large, soulless eyes. There was no doubt. It was Erin. Driving home that night, I was pleased to have nearly finished the puzzle, though I had yet to find out how Erin died and why she had come back. If she killed her mother, if she got revenge, then she was surely at peace. Her injuries, they remind me of something. Why do they remind me of something? Why do I feel some connection towards her? I felt a sudden jolt. I quickly focused on the road again. I thought maybe I'd run over something, so I got out to check. But all I could see was blood. No body, just blood. 5 years ago, the same thing happened. But 5 years ago, it was too dark to see. I figured it must have been some animal. Wait, It's as if a light flicked on inside me. I could suddenly see the young girl, about 10 or 11 at most. She was wearing a blood-stained dress, but the thing that I got drawn to was her eyes, her large crystal eyes, which appeared to look into my soul. I quickly got up because fear was overtaking me. I drove away, well over the speed limit. She's after me. I know it. I killed her, and now I will pay.